Hello and welcome to United for Good. I'm Margaret O'Neill with the United Way of Central West Virginia. Hope that we can share with you some good news today as we want to introduce a really special guest here in just a second. First of all, just want to say thanks as always to the West Virginia Library Commission and the Library Television Network for allowing us to be part of their programming. And just to remind you a little bit about what the United Way is and does in case this is the first time that you've come across our show. So our United Way is here in Charleston. We serve 6 counties: Kanawha, Putnam, Boone, Logan, Clay, and Braxton. And by serve, it's simply partnering with other nonprofits on what we think is some of the most important work that we can do in our community. Things like education and ensuring that children and young adults and adults have access to education and higher education or opportunities for training to go to work. We fund things like after school programs, and under healthcare we talk about recovery and free and reduced dental care for people that really struggle to have their teeth worked on if they don't have insurance in the place that they work. Financial stability, which is always an issue that we want to focus on to try to make sure that families in Central West Virginia have all the opportunities they need to be able to thrive and feed their children and take care of their family. And then always the safety nets that still, post-COVID really are struggling to just continue to serve our community. So things like food pantries and our homeless shelters and our domestic violence shelters, and certainly the American Red Cross, who deals daily with fire disasters in our area, that we're able to support. So that's where your donor dollar goes. If you're a partner to the United Way and have been a donor, if you would like to know more about what that would look like and how you could support our United Way, we just ask you to go to our website anytime at your convenience. United, I'm not know my own website, that would be terrible. And so go to the website, take a look at it. You'll find things like Day of Caring, Tools for School, and something we're going to talk about today, Dancing with the Stars. So UnitedWayCWV.org is the place to go, and we hope you'll find what you're looking for. If not, please call me anytime. We're happy to walk you through volunteer opportunities, ways that you can support our community, sock drives, coat drives, all the things that will be coming up as we get into cold weather. So thank you for allowing me to share that much with you. Now you get to the good part. The guest that we have with us today, he is one of my very favorite people, and I'm so glad to welcome Justin Broyles to our show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be able to help promote the United Way and everything that you guys do in our area. It's a great cause. So.
Well, you've been doing a pretty good job of promoting our United Way. And so, part of what we've been doing this year on the show is really introducing people to our partners and why partnerships are so important. Sometimes those are other nonprofits, but certainly business community is huge to us, and the way that we get our support from a variety of different fashions. And so our title was really long today because we were talking about how you went from the business that you own and operate as a sponsor to some of our events. Then you were invited to participate in this fundraiser, and we're going to talk about that. And then now as part of our board of directors. And so it really is the funnel that we like to talk about, and that we, when you first became a sponsor, let's start with where you work. And so tell me a little bit about your business and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of a third generation jewelry store, Calvin Broyles Jewelers. I've been in the business since my whole life really, but full time since I graduated from WVU in 2014.
Is that what you studied? Do you study that?
No.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. My college degree is not in gemology or anything like that. But a couple years ago, I did go to a jewelry-specific school to learn the jewelry trade, so how to repair and make jewelry. So now I'm one of our bench jewelers in the back. So if you come into the store, I'm doing the repairs or things like that in the back. But
ask for him to come out, and he'll come out.
Yeah, ask for me.
I promise you that. I've done that before. Yeah. It's like, I really need Justin to wait on.
Yeah, I'm always happy to come out. For the first 6 years of working there, I was front facing, but now I'm in the back, but always happy to help and come out front. So, we've been in business coming on 76 years now.
Oh my gosh.
My grandfather started it with my grandma in 1947.
And was he from the Charleston area?
He was originally from Beckley, actually from Alderson. My great-grandfather, he was actually a watchmaker in Beckley. So technically we're fourth generation jewelers, but of Calvin Broyles Jewelers, third generation. So he got the GI Bill to learn watchmaking because that was very important for the planes and everything in the war. So he learned watchmaking, and then he started doing traveling sales, and then opened up the business in Charleston. And we've grown it from there. My dad and my uncle have been at the helm basically since his passing in 1985.
And how many stores now?
We've now got 3 stores: South Charleston, Tays Valley, and our most recent one is Beckley. So serving all of southern West Virginia at this point, central southern West Virginia. So, you know, we ship all over the country now with people that have left the area that still support us and doing some of the things that we do at the store. We've got a very loyal base of people that come into us.
Well,
so.
and and you and I talked about this a little bit before we started the show. You know, what a testament to a business to survive 76 years and anywhere, but to think about all the changes in the economy that your family has, you know, faced and gone through and still managed to work around those challenges and not only survive but thrive. And so congratulations to all of you.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate.
And it's a family fair. You'll see Justin's mom might be there, and the staff is a family of its own. I know that you know you all are really close, and everybody takes care of each other. So and they take care of their customers the same.
Absolutely,
I should say. And so talking about that as a sponsor, so we approached Calvin Broyles and said, we're doing this thing called Inside the Huddle. Would you like to donate a piece of jewelry? And, you know, got started that way. And then we went back and said, we're just doing this thing called the Great Rubber Duck Race. And how would you like to give away a piece of jewelry? And so that's kind of how we first started to get more engaged and more involved. Certainly known about Calvin Broyles. Shop there when I was in Beckley, shop here now. But as on a more personal level, you know, I think Denim and Diamonds, your mom and dad came on our birthday, and you know, so we kind of got to know you guys as a family. But what made you decide that the United Way was a place for your company to invest money?
Well, we knew the United Way was one of a charity that we knew our money would go to the right places. I've told you before, you know, when you asked me to do Dancing with the Stars, and the more we got into it, I honestly didn't know exactly what the United Way did. I knew they were a hub for the charities in our region, but the more I've learned, the more I'm thankful that we chose the United Way as one of our places that we give our donations to because of all the good that you do. And the money, you know, I kind of thought the money just went to the United Way and you all did everything, whereas now I've learned that the money goes to organizations all across central West Virginia that do a multitude of different charity work and things like that. So, you know, like I said, we kind of donated because we thought that United Way was the name that we knew we could trust, but we're glad that I've learned how much more it does than I even realized.
Yeah, and you shared that knowledge. You know, I remember when I came into the store and that sweet lady who works there was like, Justin has come and told us all so much we didn't know about the United Way. So not only do we love that you know it, but you're sharing what you know with other people. And so then we were like, we're doing this little Dancing with the Stars thing, season 2, and we have the perfect partner for you. I can still remember the conversation. I'm like, Justin, what'd you think about it? And your sweet little shy smile, and you're like, I don't even know why I would do that, but you said yes, and so I don't know why you said yes.
I don't either. No, I'm kidding. No, I said yes, just like I just said, just because I knew how much good the United Way does for our communities. As you said, I'm kind of a more reserved person most of the time. Dancing with the Stars definitely brought that out of me.
A little out of your comfort zone.
Brought me out of my comfort zone. But when you approached me, I was unsure, but when you mentioned my partner, Tori Takubo, who I at the time knew, but not super well, but I knew I would be comfortable with her, and so I said yes because, again, I knew the good, and I knew what fun I would end up having, even though it was very nerve-wracking there for a while.
Oh my gosh, so beautiful and so talented, and Tori Takubo was an awesome and perfect partner for you, and you guys really shined. And so 3rd place in fundraising, you raised, good golly, $60-some thousand for the United Way. All of that going into our Community Impact Fund that Justin mentions, where we're able to allocate that back out to what is, I think, 34 to 37 nonprofits in 2024. So all for the good of the cause. But we have season 3 that'll be coming up. So, you know, here's your save the date audience. If you hear it here first, June the 7th, 2024 will be season 3 of Dancing with the Stars. Our wonderful partners at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. So we're working now to nominate the cast of season 3. tell me what was the, because people always say to me, I'm glad I said yes.
Yeah.
So you still feel that way at the end of it,
Absolutely.
after all of it, you still feel like you were glad you said yes.
Yes, yeah. The apprehension went away very quickly once we started getting into the fundraising and learning more about the United Way, working with your staff, and
Stellar staff, best staff ever.
Incredible
Yeah.
staff. I mean, you couldn't ask for better people.
Absolutely.
I mean, just learning their passion for it. You know, it's not just a job to them; it's their life, it's their passion to help our community. So just to see that side of it, raising the money that I knew was going to go to a good cause, teaching people of what the United Way meant to our communities, it got better and better every single day that we were in the Dancing with the Stars. The dancing, it ended up getting better and better, but the fundraising was really the passion.
Your dancing was stellar. I can't even describe it to you. But that's the part that, I think is really, when we're talking about new dancers, right? And picking those now 12 wonderful people that'll be tasked to do the same thing you all did in season 2, is for us looking at that person and trying to find a you and a Tori, right? Somebody that you're going to put yourself out there. It's out of your comfort zone, but you know why you're doing it, and that's what makes you ask people for money, right?
Yeah, and I told you when you asked, I said, I don't know if this is the right fit for me because I'm not the type of person that's going to go ask for money for anything. That's just outside my comfort zone. But when you get into it and you, like I said, learn what it's all about, it makes it much more easy to go out and ask that person, because you're not asking just for money for anything. This is really going to help people. So
and you saw where it's going. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
So when our cast is involved in the day-to-day of the United Way, they're often in the office, and so they often see firsthand the people that we serve who are at our door, requesting food or socks or shoes or a bus pass or whatever that might be, to other donors who are coming in to talk about other events that we're having, and so they really get a big really up close and personal sense of what the United Way does. I don't know if you had any experiences like that when you were in and around the building.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, when you walk in, oftentimes there's a rack of clothes there for people to grab whatever they might need. You think that it's just going to be clothes or bus passes, but there's so much more involved, helping people with their bills. If they call and they're out of money and their electric bill is going to be shut off. I mean, just the phone calls that come into you all. The more I've learned about the 211 program that you guys manage, I mean, it's not just one facet of what needs to be done to help the people, the most needy in our area. I mean, it really covers, honestly, just about anything you can think of that people need. So, I mean, it's every time I walked in, there was something else happening, and I was like, oh wow, they do this too. I mean, what else can you do in that? And you do it all.
Well, so thank you for saying that, and it is the best staff ever. And really, what we try to do is fill the gaps, right? So right now, if you walked in, it's school supplies. There's backpacks and pencils everywhere you can look, and in October there'll be socks everywhere you look, and the coat rack will be out as we start to get into fall and winter weather. But what I love is that you all saw it and recognized it. And then for us as a nonprofit organization, the thing that ensures our longevity and our sustainability is good governance, right? And so as a nonprofit, we're tasked to have a board of directors and to make sure that that group is diverse and equitable and has a vested interest in the community that we want our Central West Virginia counties to thrive and be the place where you want to live and raise your kids and keep young people like Justin Broyles here working. And so, I approached you again, and this is the bad part. Once you say yes, the problem is I keep coming back until you tell me no.
Yeah.
And so one last time I came back and said, Justin, as a young leader, a young business person, would you consider being on our board of directors? And again, you said what?
I said yes. Yeah. That was also something that's outside of my comfort zone. So you keep pulling me in different directions, but I'm grateful for it because it's. I knew how much I grew through Dancing with the Stars and how much I learned about your organization, and I hope that I'm going to be able to fill the shoes that you need in that capacity as a member of the Board of Governors. We had our first meeting yesterday, or my first meeting,
That's
official
right.
meeting
Yep.
yesterday. So it was really nice to be able to see the faces and see who's helping continue to build the momentum that you have at the United Way, and even their passion for what you do is palpable. I mean, they really are just as enthusiastic about the work that you do that your whole staff is. So it's good to see. I've never been on a board before, so
That's
this is
what
my
I
first
love.
one.
I love that so much.
So, I kind of dove in without knowing what was going on, and I was thrilled to see how passionate they were too.
So for us, the board of directors is the real. That's who we depend on, right? That's
Right.
who I go to when we need to help make decisions that are the best for the growth of our organization. It's who held our hands through the pandemic to make
Right.
sure we were making the absolute best choices that we possibly could. But for me, so I'm older, clearly older than you, but part of my goal and vision for the United Way has always been that we can bring new leadership and young leadership into the nonprofit community, and for many years forward, be it this board or others, that you'll be able to really share what we were able to share with you with other organizations, and how important it is that you pay attention and you show up. And if we say read this financial statement, we would really love it if you
Yeah.
would read that financial statement. But that's what ensures people like us, United Ways, other nonprofits, that we have somebody that's strong looking over our shoulder to make sure that you as community. So the reason why it matters to me that Justin said yes is he's a donor, and he's boots on the ground with that. And so he's going to watch us and be like, is that in our mission?
Right.
Should we be doing that? And he maybe be like, well, I know another business that I might could talk to that would, talk to you about the United Way. So their goal and their vision is to support us and to make sure that we're supporting you all as a community and doing the best work that we can with your donor dollar, and to make sure that we're saving money everywhere we can, and that we're, within the constraints of what a nonprofit should look like. And so board members to us are extraordinary and special, and I'm just so really grateful that you said yes one more time. And part of that is, and I think a little on the big picture about this, but our emerging leaders group is really that whole concept, right? That 45 and younger really need to get a little bit more involved in their community and figure out ways they can serve. You picked
Yeah.
this way, but there are other ways, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that was my struggle being a young business person in West Virginia, Charleston,
Sure.
but West Virginia as a whole. Most of my friends have moved out of the state, and I've keep trying to get them back because our state has so much to offer, and I didn't really know where I could go to be that young leader, be
An example. You're an example.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm grateful for you to bring me on as a dancer, and then later on now as a board member. So I think it's important for other young people to get out of their comfort zone, to reach out to nonprofits and other organizations in our area to see where they could fit in, because I had no idea where I could fit in with the United Way when I first started, other than being a donor. So there's plenty of opportunities out there. The United Way has a lot going on that anybody can help with, but especially young people can get out and help with your organization. So reach out, see what's needed, and I'm sure I know you can find a way to get them involved.
A place. And so I'm going to take it just a moment to kind of echo what Justin said and mention our 18th annual Day of Caring. So that's coming up on September the 20th. If you're familiar, it's what we believe for sure is the largest one-day volunteer opportunity in Central West Virginia, maybe the largest one-day opportunity in the whole state. Last year we had about 1,000 volunteers work on about 70 projects in our 6-county footprint, and the projects usually belong to a nonprofit. So nonprofit organizations, churches, sometimes schools, parks and recreation areas where you want to make sure it's good for families to come and play. And just what Justin said, we want to keep, we believe 100% that community development leads to economic development. And if we can do everything we can to make this the best place to live and work and raise a family, your friends will come home, and they'll find a reason to come back, and they'll find the United Way and others that they can support and be involved in. But Day of Caring is super easy. Once again, I would just direct you to our website. UnitedWayCWV.org. You'll be able to click on that, register your team. It can be a small team. If it's a couple people, we'll put you with another team, and you guys can go out together and make new friends. If it's a huge team, like, for example, Dow Chemical or Toyota or Appalachian Power Company may send 40 or 50, and we split those up into 2 teams. And it's a great one-day team building out of the office opportunity to do some really good work. And so the nonprofits that apply for their projects, including our own, United Way is a project, are things that we would never typically get done in that day to day, because Justin just said it, we're too busy, doing what we're supposed to be doing. So we don't always dig up the weeds, or we don't always paint the kitchen, or we don't always clean the windows. And we do some trail work at Meeks Mountain Trail, and those are folks that just don't always get the time to go out and clean brush and move trees and make sure that the trails are safe for everybody to come and have that opportunity. So take a look at the website, register a team or a project. No team is too small. We'll hook you up. Katharina Fritzler is our team lead on that, and Katharina will make sure that your team and your project are something you both want to do. I talk a lot about, we don't, unless you want to, we don't want to send a bunch of women out with chainsaws. Not to say that women can't, if that's your gig, but if you'd rather paint or sort books at the Boys and Girls Club, we want to make sure that your project is comfortable for you and your team. But that's coming up September 20th. It is our 18th year. That alone says something, don't you think? I mean, for any event to last for 18 years, people must like it.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it does so much good for the community, for the nonprofits, even the United Way that
absolutely
spend so much time doing other things that sometimes their buildings or whatever might not get the attention that maybe they deserve or that they need. So it does so much good for everybody in the area, and it feels good for the people that are doing it. It's a feel-good moment. Donating your time to help these different nonprofits, these different areas is something that it's just a feel-good moment.
It's a good day, and you go home really tired but really grateful and really thankful. Big shout out to Encova is our main sponsor for Dave Caring. United Bank, Optimum, and AmeriHealth or Unicare are the others, and without them we would struggle with making ends meet on Dave Caring. And I'll just tell you a quick story about Encova. So their project last year was at the Kanawha Valley Fellowship Home. Dick Daughtery and his team do a great job with it's a men's sober living home that is just a desperate need, and they work to recover men in a wonderful way. And so Encova went there, it was their project, and they did some painting. And while they were there, they noticed that the furniture in the room that they painted was a little on the used end of its life cycle. And so for their Christmas project, Encova gathered money from their team and went back over there and put new furniture in that room and made sure that that room was not just painted but perfect for those folks to be a part of. So if you think if you're a project and you're like, why should I do that? I could go on and on with the stories about projects getting to tell their story to the volunteers, and the volunteers then coming back later and saying, well, I want to make a donation, or I want to be a board member. I want to know more about the work that you do to support the community. And you find all different ones in all different corners of our community. So we encourage you to get involved and be part of Dave Caring. Last thoughts as we approach season 3. Anything you want to say about Dancing with the Stars? I put the mirror balls out just for you today.
No, if you have any apprehensions about it, if you're asked to do it, don't. It's the best decision I've made. I met friends, I met different business leaders. We raised a lot of money for a great cause, and it's created a new passion for me for the United Way and other nonprofits around the area. So, yes, put on your dancing shoes, get out there and have a great time. It's also, on the other side of it, it's one of the best events, if not the best event in Charleston for the year for people that just want to come and watch. It's so much fun. I was in the dressing room half the night, but my girlfriend and my other friends just said it was one of their favorite events that they've gone to in Charleston in a long, long time. So get out there and go support the United Way.
You give me chill bumps. So excited. So we call it the social event of the season.
Yeah,
we hope you will too. Again, that'll be June the 7th, 2024. Tickets will go on sale after the reveal, which will be in December. So we'll reveal our cast of season 3, and you'll find out who's going to put on those dancing shoes. And you'll know who's going to be knocking on your door saying, I need $5 a vote to be the winner of that event.
Yeah.
I want to, just as we get ready to close out, I just want just one more word about the business, because, you know, I'm a firm believer in shop local, right? And my dad had a small business in Oak Hill, West Virginia. I grew up watching him leave at 4 o'clock in the morning to, you know, go do heavy hauling is what he did, and their struggles with small business and what that looked like. And so, again, just a testament of 76 years of Calvin Broyles Jewelers in West Virginia is amazing. How many of the family work there? Because I know there's cousins and cousins and uncles. And
there's my dad and uncle, my 2 cousins, me and my mom. Those are the immediate family that are in the business. Vicki Martin, who works in our South Charleston store, she's also a cousin, you know, a second cousin or so. But really, I mean, every employee is truly a family. I mean, we have probably 5 or 6 employees that have been there for 20 plus years. I mean, it's a place that we really try to cultivate people that want to make it a career and make it something that they're passionate about. You know, I always say that we're a jewelry store, but, you know, we're there for customer service. We're there for making you a part of our family as well.
That's right.
So it's about just serving our community as best we can.
And you certainly do.
Yeah,
and
appreciate that.
We appreciate you and your whole entire family. We're so glad you said yes multiple
as well.
times to the United Way. And on that note, that is our campaign theme for this year for our annual fall campaign for the United Way is why say yes. And, you know, Justin's given you a whole bunch of good reasons today. I'm happy to give you more good reasons. So if you'd like to reach out to us and schedule a time to chat, to learn more, I'll buy you a cup of coffee, I'll buy you lunch, have that conversation about the United Way, how we serve our community. And what Justin said is true. I tell people all the time, we don't work for money, we work for hugs, because that's the meat and the nature of our team is care and service to our community. And then if we can make you better, that makes us all better and a better place to live and work and raise our families. So we hope you'll say yes to the United Way this year through our campaign. We would love to show you our brochure and talk to you a little bit more about where your donor dollar would go and the impact that it has on families, children, single moms, and all those things here in Central West Virginia. As always, our gratitude to the Library Television Network for allowing us to be with you. We hope that you enjoyed our show, and until the next time, it's United for Good. I'm Margaret O'Neill with the United Way of Central West Virginia.